transportation what it is today.
Looking at someone like Granville T. Woods, great inventor, studying his life, it's great to know him. It's great to understand the struggles and the trials and the tribulations, his ability to be a multi-genius, in fact. Because so many inventors, if you have a backer, all you have to do is invent. But being of African American descent, back in the days when he was inventing, he had to be more than that.
He improved upon a lot of the inventions that was already in place, and through his modification. You got to understand, this man was he was an electrical genius, and through his electrical expertise, he began to become an inventor.
Telephone, transmitter, the air brake, the roller coaster, the concept for the third rail for the transit system, which I think without it, New York would be a very different place.
It all started when he left his hometown of Columbus, Ohio, to pursue his engineering dreams in New York City. He quickly established himself among other leading inventors, but with success came controversy.
Granville T. Woods had to come up against Thomas Alva Edison, for instance, and some of the other large firms of that time, and knowing how to use the system to counteract their particular acts that were trying to utilize his inventive mind and call the products of that mind their products also.
I think in part, the struggle of Granville T. Woods to just, hold on to his patents and to make his name known is just as much as the struggle for, to produce the inventions that he came up with. Because, dealing with General Electric and having, to take them to court regarding, the third rail concept and some of his other concepts, that was huge. And to actually win a case, is profound during that particular time.
Dubbed the Black Edison, his most coveted and controversial inventions were integral to the evolution of transportation.
His patents covered a long span. He spent a lot of time just, thinking and working out these inventions, examining what was used at the time, and then creating ways to improve on that.
Well, the dead man is something that is utilized by the motormen on the subway system. If something happened to him, he get ill and he falls down, the train automatically stops. So that's a key invention even today, as well as the induction telegraph system that connects the trains with the board, and they can communicate with the motormen, vice versa.
The concept of a train being driven, by a third rail rather than a cable car, it definitely frees up the street. And I think that there's less of an opportunity for injuries to others, because that's basically what his technology did. It replaced the cable car.
He really is one of the major players in the Industrial Revolution because, of course, transportation becomes very important in the Industrial Revolution, not just your products, but how to transport them in the quickest manner.
Even though he was born a free man, Woods was no stranger to discrimination. The immense adversity of the time motivated him to fight harder for his recognition.
By sheer intelligence, there was no way to deny what he produced. And that's how he survived, because there was no dispute about the things that he had invented, their value, their importance. It just could not be disputed. So he had to be respected for that, if nothing else.
Respect is something that he definitely earned, but he may not have anticipated the recognition that he has received over 100 years later. A Coney Island street in Brooklyn now bears his name, and PS 335, also known as the Granville T. Woods School, works to keep his legacy alive by incorporating his achievements into their curriculum.
Sometimes the young people need to know that someone else has walked that path before and established, the yes, I can. And I think that, and I think every young child knows about Granville T. Woods. It's not like he's a hidden hero. Probably if you'd asked 30 years ago, you might not have gotten the response that we have today.
Even though he was discriminated by his color, he still worked hard to invent what we have today.
A man like Granville T. Woods allowed our children to see, wow, what I really inspired them to think about is, if he could do it back then, you could do it now.
While there is no record that Woods ever attended college, his natural talent and unwavering persistence is an inspiration to the African American youth.
They're looking at this gentleman and all of his work, and they're saying to themselves, I can be like Granville T. Woods, just like our President Barack Obama.
He inspires me to do it because he left a message saying you can do what you set your mind to, and he really did what he was chosen to do.
Let's sing the praises of our school, the school we love so dear. Here we've been taught to read, to write, and respect our fellow men. Granville T, Wood School, we love you, yes we do, Granville T, Wood School, we love you, yes we do.
Woods could not have predicted that he would leave a lasting impact on generations of African Americans, but the message is clear.
Any stumbling block that someone puts in your path, you should look for a way to make it into a stepping stone or leap over it. If you can, walk around it, crawl under it, but just get to where you want to go. Don't let anyone stop you. And I love him for that.
We love you, yes we do.